Hello and welcome back to the It's Karmic podcast with me, Vika Bradford. Today I get to chat with two people, which is like unusual. I never get to do this on the podcast, so this is super fun. And I'm welcoming one person you guys know and one person who is new to you here on the podcast, Alexandria Kenyon and Kristy Cerullo. Welcome.
Oh my
Thank you,
God.
Ika, for having us.
Yes. So excited to be here again. My favorite podcast ever.
I'm so happy to have you. I've been watching you guys. So, for everyone listening, these two have been birthing a psychic school from the ether over the last, what has it been, like 6 months or a year at this point?
The what's really fun about the story of Kristy and I is that we met in psychic training and clairvoyant
Oh
training.
gosh.
And when I first met her, we met doing a reading. So there's like a reading space, and Kristy and I was a year behind her in training, and so she was already like senior and like out of training. And I met her and I was like, I like her a lot. Immediate
Mhm.
like resonance. And then like I had read with her a couple of times and we ended up kind of deepening our connection when we went to the female intensive training.
Mm.
And I remember knowing that is my business partner. Like, period. Done. She didn't know it yet, but I dropped it to her later, like subtly, like maybe 2 years, a year and a half ago now. I was like, hey, just wondering, like, what are your goals with clairvoyance? Like, what do you want to do with it? And she was like, teach. And I said, oh, interesting. Would you ever want to have a psychic school together? And she was like, yes. I was like,
I was just
Mm.
like, of course we're going to do that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And what a manifestor moment for you. Alexandria, just see you in it. Sometimes I'll like meet people as well. I'm like, I already know where we're going, but I can't initiate you yet because it's too soon.
yeah, it was like really cool. So I'm a manifester. Kristy is a manifesting generator.
Okay.
And we were like, there was just this moment where we were like, okay, let's do that. And then we had to do all the kind of growth internally to make
Mm,
that happen.
yeah.
But I had scheduled a trip to New Jersey to go to a wedding, and Christy was so gracious and was like, come stay with me. And I was like, okay. And I
Mm.
walked through her door. Like, I think I walked through her door to her home. And I looked at her and I was like, I think we're starting a psychic school this week. And Christy, like, that week was so orchestrated, like, perfectly. Like, we ended up manifesting a photo shoot for free. Like, we
Wow.
ended up, like, building out, like, our psychic school website. It was really effortless. Like, it was great.
It's amazing. Amazing. Chris, do you have anything
Mhm.
that you want to throw in there?
Well, I just think it's so funny how like we don't the thing about Alexandria and I and how we work together and how we build our school and run our business is just like we don't have to try at it. It just happens. Like when we show up, whether we show up in person, we show up on a Zoom call, we show up in a class, it just everything flows so easily. But that can be deceiving because we know what it took to get to the point of that amount of ease and like just being in the flow of it and not needing to like struggle to like get things to happen,
Mm.
which is just such a joy and a surprising way to work, especially for me with like my past career. It's just like so nice to work with somebody that feels it makes work feel easy, grounding, and fulfilling.
And that's so amazing to hear. And like just from the outside watching you guys, I'm like, this is so amazing. It looks so exciting. And also, yeah, just hearing you and honoring you in all that it took to arrive in this place and the energetic work it takes to arrive in any situation that feels easeful and peaceful and graceful is like there's a lot behind that. There's a lot of shadow work behind that. There's a lot of pain behind that. There's a lot of loss behind that that takes you to get to that place where you're like, "Oh, here's the thing," and it feels really fucking good.
Yeah, I think like what we were talking about is like soul purpose. When you're doing your soul work, when I say like it's effortless, I mean like my presence is required. But I mean that I have so much beaming energy that I'm not drained by it at all.
Yeah.
Including, Christy and I have operations meetings, all the things I used to get so overwhelmed by when I had my first business. I love it. I love
Mm,
it all. And I think a lot of that is because I have an incredibly embodied partner who can do her own work. I mean, I haven't had that experience before. So I'm like, is this what it means? And she's like, we set up a meeting to talk about roles. And she was like, here's what we had this really funny, like, I want to do this. And then I was like, I want to do this, but we were both scared to like tell each other because we didn't know if the other person wanted to like claim that. And it was such a beautiful meeting because everything Kristy wanted to do, I
That's
hate.
hilarious.
I hate.
Mm,
I was like, ew. She was like, I would love to do the appointment setting. And I was like, ugh. I was like, yeah. And I was like, as the Leo sun that I am, I was like, I want to be like visionary energy. Like, I want to be the vision. I was like, oh no, someone's gonna fight me for it. And
mhm,
Christy's like, no,
mm,
you be you. And so I think
Yeah.
that is so powerful for me. I was like, oh my God, thank you.
yeah. That's amazing. I love it so much. And, you know, Alexandra, just knowing you, I've watched your journey, and I've known parts of your story, which you've shared on the podcast before, of like your own journey through harnessing and becoming this version of you. And Kristy, I'm interested if you have similar experience in like what I'm thinking particularly is of Alexandria, of you leaving like the psychic schools you were in previously because they were no longer in alignment. If I'm remembering correctly, maybe there was like a male focused school and you left for a feminine one. I can't remember completely, but that's kind of what I'm curious, Kristy, if you have an experience where you've left a psychic school because it wasn't in alignment and like those kind of lessons you've been through.
Interesting. I have kind of a different experience
Okay.
of psychic training. I think my experience was more centered around like the job that I had and that being very male centered
Mm,
and masculine led. And I kind of left that environment. So that was a more like radical change for me. And certainly it was a little bit mirrored in like my psychic training, but I was really fortunate that I did have female teachers and things like that to kind of like look at what was possible. But
mm,
even then, even being in a school that's, was it's a lineage that was established by, a male teacher and like still grounded in that energy. I think I had to take it upon myself to help my body and my nervous system and my female expression get the help it needed outside of my training. So
mm,
I kind of like took it upon myself to give myself that support through other methods, other healing modalities that I was learning at the time, and other practices and things like that. So they ended up being complementary, but that was only by my own design and my own intuition to do that. That I was supported in other ways. And I think what we're designing is like one container that provides all of those things, so you don't have to cherry pick other things outside of it, if that makes sense.
yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, I have a Scorpio moon, so part of my work as a spirit in a body in this lifetime is to be a leader for people who want liberation.
Mm,
And so I tend to go into spaces as the canary in the coal mine. Uh, I am highly sensitive and I will suss out the energetic undercurrents that are disempowering people.
mm.
It happens every time. I mean, my spirit animal is a tree frog, so I'm here to literally cleanse negative spaces. It doesn't get easier because everyone doesn't like me about it, and that's fine.
Mm,
But one of my biggest takeaways in psychic training, because it was a male program, and my cohort was the year behind Kristy, so we had a maybe different experience. But clairvoyant training is really like this process of embodiment.
mm,
It's this process of bringing all this spiritual information, all your higher self into your body. And what's going to happen in that process is you're going to hit your pain, your beliefs, your limits. And for me, I had a lot of limitations around male energy being unsafe. And so
mm,
I was starting to manifest that, not saying like things didn't happen to me because they did. And there was like not accountability in which I would have liked it.
mm,
But at the end of it, I guess, hmm, it's very interesting to be a teacher now and have a school and understand that everyone is going to have their own growth. And it might not be the way that I would want it for them or the way that I think it should look, but like I'm so glad I stuck with it. So like I didn't leave the training program for clairvoyance. I graduated, but I had just an issue with one of my teachers, and it was really challenging because my body was like, unsafe, unsafe. And I was like, this is my soul work.
Mm,
And I had to step out of like psychic surgery training. And that was hard because that's literally, but you know what? Here's the thing. I didn't need the psychic surgery training.
yeah.
It was just embodied.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been doing this the whole time. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So it's like we get what we need. I think it's important to like understand what is a trigger, what is something you're clearing, and what is actually unsafe.
Right.
Because what the training really taught me was use your voice, doesn't matter who
Mm.
you're speaking to, speak your
Mm.
truth. And that was a massive block for me. And then when I left the second training, I'm also a manifester, so I'm like, when I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. Um, I really left for kind of a similar reason. I felt like it wasn't respecting my female cycle.
Mm.
And it was a female training. And
Okay.
I was like, you should not be taking me through trauma work on the last day of my period or my last day before my period, day 27. I do not have the capacity. So I think a lot of like male energy in this training is push through it. It's linear, like
Right.
go hard as fuck, right? We see that in breathwork spaces. We see that in transformation coaching. And for me, I just had this moment of like full body stop. I had gotten really physically sick in the training and I was
Yeah.
pissed. My body was like, you're gonna fucking respect me
Mm.
or I'm done. And I was like, okay. And so, our trainings are really trauma informed and based on the female body. I would not expect a student to come to a class in late luteal where we're working in energy that is like, might be super activating.
Yeah.
It's just like we want to share that information. And that's the whole part of it is that I was learning to be a female-based teacher through this whole
Mm.
experience. Like what are some of the things that are going to happen and come up, women and all of our, oh my God, I'm going unconscious. All of our pain around
Mhm.
feeling invalidated by the world around us and feeling our boundaries being crossed and like feeling like our bodies like we have to overgive and over show up and like our training's not like that. And it won't
Mm.
be because we've both experienced what it feels like to push through
Yeah.
and it gives me
Yeah.
the ick.
Well, and I love that you're saying this because it feels like you guys are like listening to the call of what we're moving into energetically, particularly as women, where we're just like done with this pushing through. It's fried all our nervous systems, no matter what category we're working in, no matter what like how we're living our lives, we've pushed ourselves so hard. Like I'm just thinking of our generation, like pushing ourselves through gym class and pushing ourselves through all these things where we literally couldn't function, and then into jobs where there is no moment for you to have like you're in late luteal, you're dying, and you're like, let me just go serve for 12 hours for the next 3 days, and I won't eat properly, and I'm like toppled over and with cramps. And so it feels like you guys are listening to like a call that is needed from the collective to shift spaces.
I mean, 100%. That what you described was was just like exactly my origin story. I
Mm.
guess I'll call this my psychic origin story. Was that, I mean, for context, almost exactly a year ago, I left like a successful, stable, six-figure corporate job in marketing to just to be a professional psychic. And
Wow.
I built that career over the course of 15 years.
Wow.
And anything that you could imagine happening in my body during that time,
Yeah.
I suffered with chronic pain. I had, other health issues, nothing very serious, but nothing that I could really like trace back to having a cause. It
Mm.
was just seemed to be like these mysterious things. And I think a part of me knew that there was an answer that nobody else would be able to give me, that I would
Yeah.
need to find it for myself. I think the tipping point was actually when I graduated with my MBA, and I thought that I would know what to do next.
Hmm.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I just got my master's doing business. Like, now I should know my answers of what's next. And I didn't. And that was terrifying. And I got depressed.
Yeah.
And I had to sit with that for a while. And then I took the natural next step, which was doing my psychic training,
Natural next step.
as one does. When
Trolled
one,
As one does.
MBA to psychic
yeah.
training fucking
Yeah.
pipeline.
I love this. And it's like it echoes so much similar in my own story, though. Um, I also believed it was gonna work out after college, and then my natural next step was like into Reiki, and then into this, and then that was the natural next step. But the last couple years, I'd spent my time building this, but in an unnatural, unsupportive way to the point where I burned myself out. Like I've been sick now for 3 years, and it's the same, Kristy, as you were saying, where it's like there's a psychic origin to this. The labs are great, everything's fine, everything looks fine. The doctors are, he said to me, I put doctor in quotation here because I don't consider him a doctor, but has said several times like this is all in your head, and I'm like, you know what? It's actually there's like it's more than just in my head. It's like this psychic origin of sickness. And I love that this naturally takes us into Alexandria, what you were saying before we hopped on, and like the misalignment of purpose. Even though this work is my work, this work is like everything to me. The way I've been doing this work has been what's
Mm.
killed me, right? And so, yeah, like can we go deeper into the manifestation of illness? And I put it as like dis-ease, not disease, but dis-ease that happens when we are, say, misaligned from I want to call it our purpose, our destiny, our fate, or like what our souls came here to actually do. And what happens when we get off course because life tells us this is the way to go. And we're like, yeah, cool, money and this, or this is right. And we start pushing ourselves into places that are not aligned with what our souls actually wanted to do here. Let's open that can of worms today.
Like, let us open that.
Crack, like that's like cracking the
Let
can.
me, I'm like, let me cook. You know, interestingly, I think that no woman should be pushing ever.
Yeah.
Like, truly, my work is around receptive wealth. And a lot of the reason why we experience burnout is because we're running our businesses through male energy.
Mm.
And it's not that your soul work isn't going to challenge you, but if you have a healing practice or you are working with people, if you're a hairdresser, if you're working with people in an energetic way, which we all are, and you're sensitive, what's going to happen is you're going to take on other people's energy.
Yeah.
And so it's not that you're not in alignment with your soul work, it's that you are ready to up level your leadership and like get the tools you need so that you don't have to manage other people.
Mm.
And I think that was a really big thing for me because I had a lot of storying and beliefs from my first business when, I had this multiple six-figure photography business doing boudoir and helping people like, get back to their erotic nature. And I was doing my sole purpose, I thought, and I hated my life.
Mm.
I was like, no. And I was sick. I had such anxiety. I felt depressed. I had to take Adderall to keep up. And you know, what's so resonant for me is like, I didn't know I was psychic,
Mm.
period. And I would have all these women come to me with their core traumas. Like, when you get naked with somebody,
Yeah.
you're exposed and all of a sudden you're like, shit, I gotta get like my vulnerability is gonna come out. And so people would tell me about like SA and like all of the everything. And I would come home and I would stare at the wall and I'd be like, and I remember like every day I would leave my studio, I would like couldn't remember if I blew out the candle or not.
Mm.
I'd constantly be in this state of high freeze. And I'd have to drive back to my studio 20 minutes to blow out the candle. And it was blown out, of course. But like, I think, okay, so my sole purpose has always clearly been to be psychic. That wasn't on my bingo card. Like, I really thought I was going to be a therapist, which is really being a psychic. But, you know, I didn't grow up and like have visions. That wasn't what happened for me. I was a sensitive kid. But I also had to be I wasn't really in my body probably until my 20s, if you want my honest opinion. Because, I had an alcoholic parent and there was a lot of trauma and there was a lot of energy. And so when I think about leaving something or misaligning. So I got really sick after I left female training, after I made that decision where I was like, I'm no longer doing this. It's harming me, right? And it wasn't the instructor, it wasn't the program. It was just like, I am so burnt out and tired of this work. I'm resentful. Part of me was like, it's a cult. Then I started getting all negative and I was like, why am I feeling this way? When like every single day I'm in class, I feel better. Every time. It's such a shift. And it was really actually my partner's energy.
Mm.
Don't do this. Stop. Too much. I can't match you. And like kind of getting into my mental space. Anyway, that's another side note. We don't need to go down. And so I got really sick because essentially, I mean, if you want my truth, my partner wanted me to heal him before I healed myself.
Mm.
And so I was kind of taking on his mental anxiety and that's called being a sensitive. So of course he was like, don't go to the place where you're going to heal that. Don't go to the place where you're
Yeah.
going to clear that. Actually, we stay here, become a traditional wife.
Mm.
And I was like, oh. And so for a while, I really kind of gave up my dreams because I wanted to be provided for. I wanted to be cared for. I wanted to have that relationship. And I'm not ashamed to admit that because I still want that. But I felt so sick. I mean, I was hospitalized. And Kristy was there with me on that journey. And honestly, I went back to my teacher and she opened me with open arms. And she was like, that's what happens when you're not running your energy, when you reject who you are. And I said,
Mm.
oh, okay. So I could have just like ran my energy 3 times and been fine. She's like,
Mm.
probably. And I was like, okay, sick. So when we reject what works for us, like very, very clear, why would I reject something that works so well for me? It didn't make sense. I was like, why am I rejecting the language that lands in my soul? That's such a weird thing to reject, but I think we all go through it. It's like the tantrum you have, like
Mm.
when like your parents are like, this is the way, and I'm like, I'm gonna choose my own way. And then you come back to it and you're very humbled in that experience. But sometimes when we're misaligned, it's really just an easy little step. You don't think it's that easy, but it truly was, okay, I just need to get a reading. I just need to get a hello. I just need to get a little bit of support so I can find myself in this energy. And then from there, I am a master clairvoyant. So I was like, boom, boom, boom. Should have seen me heal my life in 3 weeks. I did it. I was like, all right, walk in. What do you
Yeah.
think, Kristy? What do you think about that?
What's interesting about what you shared, and I think this happens to us regularly when we get, stuck in an energy is we're talking about misalignment versus alignment. It's really just a matter of, is this my energy or is it someone else's? Is
Yeah.
this real? Is what I want what I actually want, or is it something somebody else wants that I'm feeling because their energy is in my space, in my head, in my heart, in my gut? And I think what we have studied and what we teach is like making the invisible stuff visible so we can look at it and be like, oh, that's my partner's
Hmm.
unhealed stuff I'm processing through my body, or that's what my boss my boss doesn't want me to get another job, or
Yeah.
or my family doesn't want me to move away. So to your question is it's really deepening that sense. I like to use this analogy of like we have five physical senses. We all know, like we can hear, we can taste, we can see. Great. What if you had eight more senses and you don't
Mm.
even realize you have them? And all
Yeah.
of a sudden you can unlock them one by one and you experience the world completely differently. It's like all of a sudden you have all these new tools. All of a sudden you see different layers that you couldn't see before. Of course, it's going to be easier to make decisions, to guide your life, to see what's coming and plan for it,
Yeah.
and to be in that groove of the flow, and to be able to find a healthy way to do it. And every now and then something pulls you off, but you
Hmm.
can see it, and you bring yourself back a little bit faster than you used to be able to.
Mm. My little me is like listening to you guys being like, yeah, 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 because, highly sensitive as well. And I would imagine most people listening to this were or slash are highly sensitive. And some may have not have realized it till recently. Some might not have realized it till this conversation. They're like, oh, highly sensitive. And then there is my little, Alexandria said to me in many sessions, she's like, you're psychic, right? And I'm like,
You're like,
yes,
no.
yes, and I'm just thinking, about all the little versions of us and the many people listening right now that went through life feeling too much, experiencing too much, not realizing that's why we shut ourselves down. That's why we exit the body. That's why we are like, whoa, there's like, I'm feeling my mom's energy, my dad's energy, they're warring, my sister's energy over here. And like, all of the even just like the neighborhood's energy, the like global unconscious, something 12th house placements like are crying over here. And what happens when we just leave our bodies because it's just too much, right? And then we get into adulthood and we're like, well, I don't even know what I'm supposed to do or where I'm supposed to go. And this embodiment practice that begins to happen. And I think it's so beautiful that you guys are speaking to like do we like we almost have to come back into this kind of like turning on those extra senses, turning into our sensed feeling of life again to come back into like where do we actually want to go? Where is the path? And I'm thinking again about what you guys mentioned before we popped on here is like not everyone is born clairvoyant or psychic. So like I think perfect walk into that one of tell us, for the people listening that may have felt similar to all of us, like, people pointed that out to me when I was younger, but I didn't know what that meant when people were like, "Oh, you seem to be psychic," and I'd be like, "I'm 12. I don't know what you're saying to me right now."
I'm 12, so
I'm 12, sir.
I mean, everybody in a female body is psychic.
Yes.
And it's like we're all expected to navigate this terrain of life without those abilities on. And then we're shamed for those abilities. And don't
Mm.
you find that to be really weird? Why psychic women are like made fun of. It's like such a weird thing. Like if I have all the like the society we live in doesn't want women to have privileges.
Mm.
So it's like, huh. And so, you know, I would say that if you feel like you have nervous system dysregulation in any way, you're likely psychic.
Yes.
And what's really happening is you are attuned to information. As simple as that. It can come in the form of feeling, knowing, just understanding, you know, and, beyond that, when you're a healer, then you go, I need to understand that. Let me take that
Mm.
into my own body. And a lot of us may identify with that as being empathetic.
Mm.
But what's really happening is you are attempting to understand an energy and then you match it, become it, and you can't get it out.
Ooh.
And so being psychic or maybe being sensitive, and a lot of women who come to me and work with me are like CEOs, and they're like, I'm not sensitive, I'm a powerhouse. And I'm like, you're out of your body. You're
Mm.
bypassing. You don't even know when's the last time you went to the bathroom. Like,
Right.
and so the reason why it's hard to claim this is because the psychic senses of clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, which is empathy, are felt in the body,
Mm.
experienced in the body. And so when you have had a history of trauma or a history of being invalidated, why would you come into the body to tune those up? Hell no. You're going
Hmm.
to focus on the systems and the strategy and the mind because that's what's been safe.
Yeah.
So I was always psychic. I just wasn't validated for it. And so that felt like always being attuned to when moods were shifting,
Hmm.
being overly protective of other people. Like, oh, I know something that, and like, well, how else? Like not knowing when I was hungry because I'd be like totally out of my body, unmatched. Being really angry as a kid, so angry for no reason. Um, yeah, like I didn't know. Also, planning, managing, and taking care of people, also psychic because
Mm.
you're trying to heal people. I remember planning all the prom events. I'd be like, I'm gonna
Mm.
manage all this energy. So usually the people who are psychic are very good at managing energy. They're leaders.
Right.
Kristy worked in
Yeah.
corporate America, and she's like, I'll just manage all of this. And then you wonder why you're sick is because you're managing so much energy that's not yours and you don't unmatch it at the end of the day. It's like it's
Mm.
one thing to be like so good at it, trust me. Like one time I found out I was managing an entire country because I was just curious about it. And I was like, I should probably stop managing that.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I should probably stop. But you wouldn't know until you know. And I think that's the nuance about it is like so many women are like maybe intimidated by psychic school because they're like, how psychic do I need to be? And it's like,
Mm.
we just need you to dip your toe so you can experience the validation. And then all of a sudden, the whole ecosystem comes online. You're like, oh no, I've been this way. And it's not like spirits are coming to talk to you. It's just like, oh, that's what that was. It's so subtle. I'm like, oh, the fact that I'm a photographer and I can see color and I've seen color my whole life and I know exactly how to pose someone and I know exactly what looks best on them, that's psychic.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I want to extend what the point that you were making and like follow that thread around labor. You know, before the 1950s, the biggest source of unpaid labor was women's work around the house. And it was
Mm.
just kind of taken as like, this is just what you do. You do it, and it's a given.
Hmm.
And I would argue that now the biggest source of unpaid labor is all of the energetic work that women are doing unconsciously. And of course, nobody wants us to see it because
Right.
then it would come to the consciousness and be like, oh, this is something that I should wield with purpose and intention and not just be giving it away without realizing it. So women, come home at the end of the day after work, and think like, oh, I had such a busy day. I'm so tired. It's not because you were busy. It's not your job that's making you tired. It's all of the energetic labor that you don't realize you're doing, where you're
Mm.
giving energetically, healing your coworkers' partnerships with their spouses or their
Yeah.
family energy, or healing your partner's family. I mean, the things I've seen in people's bodies that they've taken on from their family members or their coworkers. And it's like, yeah, you're tired. Look at all the stuff you've been doing that it's not tangible, so we don't see it, but we feel it. And the really hard thing to see is that there's a little bit of a delay. When you're young and your teens and your 20s, you can manage all that energy and like you're still young, your body's still spry, it can bounce back. But when you get into your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, it starts to accumulate physically, and then you start to see chronic conditions, chronic pain,
Hmm.
cancers. And that is the buildup of all of this energy that we are managing in the body. And it doesn't, a healing with Alexandria and I could do a lot, but it's not, you know,
Yeah.
something like that doesn't disappear overnight because it's chronic, it builds up. Not to say that it can't, but that is all a manifestation of all of this work that we're talking about that we learn to do and we are conditioned and rewarded for doing in childhood.
Hmm.
So we were all
Yeah.
psychic children. We learned to do this. We do it for our whole lives. And then we realize, like, oh, crap, I've been doing it the whole time.
And I just
Yeah.
want to say too, like, it's not your fault. it's not your fault. So if you're like listening to this and like, oh no, I do this. It's
Hmm.
not your fault. Do you want to know, like, when I walk through the world, people are like, capable. Here, here, take this family trauma I've been trying to address. When you come into the world, you are this natural light, this bright child. And
Yeah.
people are like, oh, I can just dump my shit on you, right? Like, and it's like we've been conditioned to think that gives us value. I can
Yeah.
be a healer, I can fix things. And what psychic school really teaches is like, how do I have boundaries around that? And
Hmm.
also put myself first so I can lead with, compassion, but also not be healing the world all of the time because, babe, you're not meant to. You're not meant to do this alone.
Yeah.
And that's been taken from us too. Like, let's all separate let's separate the psychics because together they're more powerful. It's like, yeah, of course they are. And it's like these chronic illnesses and conditions, like they're collective female pain imprints. And so you're not alone in that. Like, I want you to know that. Like, it's not your fault that people see that you're capable.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. It's annoying as fuck. I don't, and it's unconscious. And then you're like, why am I mad at my friend right now? It's because,
Mm.
oh, they just dumped their growth onto you.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, I want to have friends. I want to belong. Let me pull everyone along.
Hmm.
And then you're resentful and you're bitter. And then that resentful bitterness turns into shame. And then
Yeah.
shame causes inflammation in the body. So it's like,
Mm.
it just doesn't end because I don't want you to come into the space where you're shaming yourself now, where it's like, oh no, like, fuck, I'm healing the world. It's like, stop, we all are. Kristy and I
Hmm.
do it. We have to, but the difference is we see it, we give ourselves that grace, and then we reattune to our energy. And that's
Yeah.
like a rep. It's like going to the gym. You see you're tired, you're having a bad day. You're like, I got to move my body. It's the same thing. I got to get to energy work. If I can get to energy work, I'm okay. And then you run that energy and you're like, oh yeah, none of that was fucking mine. So then you're not spiraling off on this side quest to go heal somebody's family.
Mm.
Like I get invitations to go to people's families' houses all the time because they want me to heal them. They're like, yeah, we would love you to come over. I'm like,
No.
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 I'm like, probably not today. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my side quest. I'm like, you
Yeah.
are not the problem.
Yeah, no, I love that reminder. I think it's important for everyone listening to hear that. Two things coming through as you guys are talking. One is social media, and the other is like getting paid for this work. It feels like these two topics. So like one is like, um, okay, so before social media, we were already carrying so much, obviously, right? I'm thinking of like women particularly. Okay, we're already carrying so much. We're managing, whether we're in the home or out there in corporate, whatever, you're still managing. And now add social media, particularly Instagram or TikTok is what I'm thinking of. Now we're going to add that whole entire, like, let's double the collective consciousness that we are tapping into because now we're seeing it, not only feeling it, but we're seeing it 24/7. And now we're trying to manage that. So I'm like, like, how does that kind of, and is this part of like why everyone is hitting such intense autoimmune diseases, like the inflammation, chronic pain, cancer, like everything is skyrocketing. I know there's other things connected to that, of course, but I'm also thinking of all of us trying to manage all of that.
I mean, 100%. My big pet peeve these days is all of the shame that is thrown at people online about not caring enough, not saying enough, not being active enough, not having a cause enough on their online presence toward any of these millions of horrible things that are happening in the world. It's like you can acknowledge them and be witness to them. But the demand, especially on women to heal them through
Hmm.
their work, through their energy, is astronomical. And there was so much guilt and shame thrown at people.
Yeah.
And I'm just over it. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't have to speak up. Everybody has different roles to play in what's happening right now. Some
Yeah.
people are the destroyers, some people are the sustainers, and some people are creating what's next. We all have different tools. If everybody is using a hammer, we're not going to build anything, right?
Mm.
So it's like social media confuses us because there's so much energy thrown, and then we can't tell what's ours. What's
Yeah.
my tool? What's my gift that I bring this little piece to all of this that's happening? And that confusion is paralyzing. And that's
Yeah.
by design.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So I recently left Instagram completely. I burned my Instagram to the fucking ground, archived every post. I'm gone. And I feel alive. Like I feel okay. There's obviously still stuff I'm working through with everything. Saturn in the sixth house, get out like today. But as I've left, I've realized how sick Instagram was making me, like violently ill to be on there. Now, when I open the app, if I like go randomly post like a Substack on my story, just be like, I'm over here. I get like nauseous, physically nauseous. And what you're saying too about the expectation that all of us should be fighting every war and every social justice thing and every single thing is our responsibility feels so important to point out. I was never in, but I'm also fucking sick of seeing it. So yeah, Alexandria, I'd love to hear your add on to this.
Well, you know, as somebody who loves a little disassociation scroll, I don't really love it, but I do find myself after comparing. Like I noticed recently I had scrolled Instagram, I was sick, and I was just like, oh yeah. I noticed I was harsher on my body.
Yeah.
I was critical on my business. I was in the energy I'm not doing enough, right? And so, okay, Instagram is a place. Let's not like give it power over us. It is a place where people exchange ideas.
Yeah.
And I think that in that regard, it allows you to kind of not make it bigger than it is. Like Instagram maybe has an agenda or whatever it is, they have an algorithm. Um, what we teach people at psychic school is how to have really clear boundaries with that. So you're like, oh, I'm noticing that energy. Wow, that's interesting. Oh, I'm going into comparison. To have that level of self-awareness, you don't need to blow everything up that you've worked for or to change your visibility, right? Because I think most psychic women, when they feel overwhelmed by energy, blow everything up. It's the
Mhm.
luteal woman. She's gonna fucking nuke it. I have nuked my Instagram so many times. I'm also Scorpio placement, so I'm like dead,
Mhm.
trash. But it's like when you have a body of work, right? Like that's what Instagram wants you to do. Delete everything, start over, effort harder so you come back and have to do it again. So it's like I don't love what's happening on Instagram. I also don't think I need to perform or be any kind of way or feel the social pressure to show up as anyone other than myself because I know who I am and my
Mhm.
energy and I know what I do daily and I know what my sole purpose is, and that's to help people see. And so it's like in that, I don't let Instagram have power over me. It is not something that is bigger than a flea.
Mhm.
It's not. And so I think that a lot of women, when they go on there, what's happening is they're like, we're clairvoyant, right? We're all clairvoyant. Instagram is a picture. So that picture is coming into your energy field. And then you're kind of either pushing it away in resistance or you're taking it in and you're stamping it on yourself. Not skinny enough, don't have the money. Like right now, my algorithm is all about sales. And I'm like, what the fuck is
Mhm.
going on? I'm dying. It's hilarious. But I'm like, Alexandra, you're not fucking closing. It's a tool. Instagram is a tool. There is way too much fucking information coming at our sensitive female bodies every
Yeah.
day, period.
Yeah.
It is, and you want to know what the hardest part is we are all so fucking desperate for connection. We
Mhm.
want to be touched. We want to be loved. We want to be validated. And that is not wrong. So much of our society says you're wrong. I want you to be an island. You should be independent. You shouldn't want this. You shouldn't want the validation. Look at yourself. That's also shame. that's not going to make you better at coming to meditation class,
Hmm.
you know? So it's like, how do we separate? Personally, I'm a Leo. I love validation. I'm going to claim that. It's external and I live for it. Like, hell yeah, why not? But it's like, what Kristy and I are creating is this space where you can come take a healing shower
Hmm.
and you can get all that shit off of you. So you don't have to burn down your business that you've built like for years of hard labor. I don't want women laboring harder. That's not what I
Yeah.
want. I want like, oh, I got caught up in this energy. Fuck. And it happens to me daily. I'm like, oh shit.
Hmm.
And then it's like, okay, love myself. Let's take a step. And so it's like Instagram to me, I'm not in resistance to. I'm just like, okay, you're a tool. If I get on you, I don't feel that great all the time. And what do I need to feel great? What are the spaces where I need to go to feel good? And I'll tell you, I took a somatic class before this with my mentor. I go, and that's the question I have to ask all of you. It's like, maybe your nervous system and our collective nervous systems can't handle this.
Hmm.
I don't follow anyone on Instagram. If you know that, if you look at my Instagram, I don't really care what people think about me in that
We
way.
follow one person.
I do. I follow Kristy. Shit.
Just me.
Fucking celebrity.
I don't
It's
take
an
that
iconic.
lightly.
It's
It's privilege.
iconic.
Yeah.
I'm a loyal
Yeah.
ride or die. That's my work wife. Like I follow her. Anyway, so like I follow one person on Instagram. I don't follow anybody because I don't
Mhm.
want to see, I don't want to have an agreement to heal you. I
Yeah.
love you from a distance.
Hmm.
I love talking to you in my DMs, but like we have to realize, and I think what you're speaking to, because like you feel energetically overloaded on that app
I do. I
and
do.
it
Yeah,
affects you.
it does. Yeah. And like for me, the burning down, it was initiated 3 years ago. It doesn't feel like a negative thing for me. It feels like the next thing. But I know the moments you're like, I like where I've wanted to burn it down out of integrity in the past. I know those moments, and I know the women listening who have had those moments where it's like out, not even out of integrity, it's very scorpionic, like I just need to burn this fucking thing to the ground.
Well, there are seasons of destroy in our life. And I think
Yes.
too, when you have like Scorpio placements, sometimes there is an entire shed that has to happen before
Yes.
that new version of you is born. I've seen you go through it a bunch of times. It's like,
Hmm.
hell yes. And I'm also like at this place in my life, and I'm like, how do I actually get into this process where I can, this is just my personal thing right now, where I'm like, I don't have to till up the whole fucking garden every time.
Mm.
I'm so stressed about it. I'm like, get all this shit out. I'm like, and like go into this moment. How can I just kind of remove the actual, like be more precise and remove what
Mm.
the actual thing is that I want to remove? And usually, being psychic, that is usually like a belief. That's
Yeah.
usually an energy pushing in on me. That's usually I need to update a healing agreement with someone. I need to look at a relationship. And it's so much less big swing for me now.
Good.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I burned my life down too many times. I'm tired.
Yeah. And that feels like big, like evolutionary, scorpionic work when you're saying it, because I'm like thinking about, the amount of my scorpionic people and myself that I've had to be like, there is a moment where we just want to burn shit down for no reason, or we're bored, or we're just like feeling something, and we're like, I don't even know what this is, but I'm gonna light it all on fire. And it's not always the right thing, right? So it feels like when you're saying this, the work you're doing is getting you to a place where you can be very intentional about like what it is that needs to happen versus like I'm just gonna light the house on fire. Everything that's inside can just go down because I don't have the energy or capacity to figure out what thing in there was pissing me off. So the whole house got burnt, even though it was like one creepy old doll that
It
is
literally was.
haunted. It's like a
It was like,
haunted
oh, this
doll.
doll. You're like, because your system goes into like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, right? Like it's fight or flight, especially if you're in luteal. I know all
Yeah,
the luteal ladies, like you literally go into fight or flight. I'm in luteal right now. I've literally this week was like, I don't want to talk to anyone ever again.
I
Um,
know.
Facts. It still happens, but it's like you're right. It's one doll. And
Hmm.
that to me is why getting a clairvoyant reading is the
Yeah.
most important thing in those moments. I had 2 sessions this week because I was like, I am at my whim. I'm about to burn it down again. And I worked too hard to burn it all down. And it's like, it's interesting because there are moments where we do need to cross that threshold. We do need to
Mm,
burn it down because there's a new version of us that requires something completely different.
yeah.
And I'm also like in those moments, I think it's really good to have a clairvoyant set of eyes to like, you don't have to do the seeing or the doing. Y'all do it too much. It's almost like analysis paralysis with healers because you're all
Yep.
right. So it's like, I always go to someone who's more neutral. I'm not that neutral to my shit. So I'm like,
Mm.
please, God, can you see what I'm missing? Can you go find that doll that's in my energy system, please? It's freaking haunting me. It's
It's a
scary.
freaking haunted doll.
And then it ends up being something that's like so hilarious. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
And then your house, stays intact. And then you just like painted a new color. And you're like, oh, sexy.
Yeah. Chris, do you have
Unless
anything
you
to
want to
add to
burn it
that?
down,
Yeah, you
Kristy,
might have to
burn it
burn it
down.
down.
I think I'm the opposite of you guys on the
Okay.
astrology wheel. I'm a Cancer sun sign, so I don't tend to burn things down. I tend to just like over nurture them and be in
Mm.
denial that there's a problem. I'm like, there's no problem. I'm just gonna love it more. I'm just gonna heal the shit out of it until it's okay. So I'm the opposite.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah,
but
that's valid.
yeah, yeah. I think the other thing about social media is that it's kind of 90% of the content on there is the establishment. And the thing
Yeah.
about the times we live in now is like, I think that the three of us on this podcast, we're all not creating under the establishment. We're creating what's next. So we're
Yeah.
not going to see a lot of content about what we're meant to do. I mean, I get the sales stuff too, like recommended for me, and I just have to remind myself, like, I'm not playing by the same rules. I'm playing by
Mm.
rules that other people don't even realize are th like there's no rules. So I just have to keep reminding myself of like, this doesn't apply to me. Like we're building our business or school, like all of us of what we're doing. I know it's like we're charting our own course and we're holding the field and setting the vibration of what's coming next so that
Mm.
when we get there, everybody's like, oh, thank God somebody like set this up a little bit for us and knows,
Yeah.
what these new rules are because so that's the other thing I notice about social media. Like it pulls me back into those old frameworks that are dying.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it feels, yeah, like whether intentionally or unintentionally, it kind of has a parasitic energy that could be leaky into like trying to keep us in those systems. So that's a really good point. The last thing I do want to like say or connect to was like the money thing because it kind of like that was the perfect lead into, right, of like these old systems. And even like the many costumes it has that have been worn sort of to make money online over the last however many years since Instagram really began like helping us do that, which I am thankful for in that case, but things are growing now. But I'm thinking about what you guys were talking about with this like unpaid labor and the psychic energy and all that and the almost like this collective karmic shit in the ether around like psychic women or women doing this kind of work, astrologers, healers, all these people like that we shouldn't be paid our worth or that our energy should be free and we should be constantly creating content to serve people because we don't deserve to be paid a living fucking wage to exist. I think that's an important conversation. Alexandria laughs.
I would say charge more,
Yeah.
which women don't like
Mm-hmm.
to hear. They're like, what you're speaking to is religious energy.
Mm,
That's
it
what it
is.
is.
Yeah,
It's
you're right.
this women can't be priests. Women can't do this. You need to be a nun. You need to be giving. Estrogen is our main hormone as women. It's a caretaking hormone and it's been incredibly hijacked by our system.
Mm.
It's you are doing unpaid labor and you've been doing it. So when you start to step out of doing unpaid labor, and you get a lot of resistance because people want you to stay stuck in the matrix. I mean, the money moving forward, wealth moving forward is all energy. Everything is about how is my field and constitution to what I want. It's truly that. We can all feel that. it's not the way that we did money 10 years ago. It's not the way I did high ticket sales 10 years ago. I love that Kristy said that because it's not. And I like get caught in, I'm like, should I go back? Right. And I think when an old system is dying, there's this constant attention. Look at me. Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want me?
Mm.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Right. And it gets all insecure. And it's funny because I think Instagram is so insecure. It's like, I'm dying. Like,
I know.
it's like dead. And I'm like, okay. But, when it comes to making money from what I've never been one who has been shy about charging for my
Mm.
services. I was like, my first business, I was like literally like in a small, poor military town charging $5,000 for photo shoots. I just have never had, I've always had that audacity because I know what I'm putting into it.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of restriction on these kinds of healing abilities. I mean, just notice in your day how many, first of all, I've been dating a man. I mean, as I always am. It's just a part of what's happening in my life. And I was with him the other weekend and we were like at his house and 5 people called me to tell me shit about their lives. And he was like, "Is that what happens to you every day?" And I was like, honestly, I was really unconscious of that. Yeah. I was like, I'm doing labor all fucking day. So
All
it's
day.
like, I think when you start becoming conscious to that these are actually gifts that we give to people and not something that we're owed or we're obligated to do, it challenges some of your agreements with your family, with your friends, your beliefs. And I think the hardest part for women when it comes to money is they're afraid that they're going to lose their lives.
Mm.
They're afraid that they have to choose one or the other. And like, you have to choose yourself. So it's like, regardless of how the family system organizes to you, how Instagram organizes to you, how the world organizes to you, you have to walk your path or you're going to not be well. And
Mm.
you need to have your basic core needs met, babes. You have to do it. I taught a masterclass on money recently, and I'm like, if you are not including your rest and your re education and paying yourself back for the time you spent developing this skill, you're not going to be happy,
Mm.
which means we need to charge more, unfortunately. I made a post recently. If you want to hate me about it, that's fine. I'm a capitalist. I am, because that's the world we live in. I do it not in a place to overpower, dominate, have systems of hierarchy above people, but to say that I'm willing to bring my expertise, I'm willing to bring my abilities, and I'm willing to be visible in this market right now because people need me,
Yeah.
period. And it's
Hmm.
like, that's why I'm on the Instagram. I'm like, yeah, system's dying. Guess who's here? I'm fucking here, bitch. I'm in it. I'm right with you. So it's
Yeah.
like, I want you all who are listening to realize you're probably undercharging by 200, 300%.
Mm.
Anyone who's around me knows that I will literally like have a masterclass sermon on their pricing. I'm like,
Mm.
this isn't sustainable.
Yeah.
Female bodies need an entire cycle of rest. And then if you're a manifestor on top of that, you need to pay yourself for a 3-month rest.
Hmm.
And it's like, let's get back to your question. Why do women feel uncomfortable charging as a healer? Religious past lives.
Hmm.
Past lives where you were a wealthy woman and you were hunted, killed, persecuted for it.
Yeah.
Um, Glass ceilings, ancestral glass ceilings. We're teaching a class, Kristy's taught a class on this in psychic school.
Love that.
Ancestral glass ceiling, where your family says this is as much money as women are allowed to make in
Mm.
a family.
Yeah.
Social norms, all of these things. And guess what? They can all be deprogrammed. It's
Mm.
like you don't have to stay stuck in that. I don't want you to. Like my legacy, I'm going to die a rich, well woman. And I don't want anyone to have to struggle. Like that's also another picture is like, well, you haven't struggled enough for it. You
Yeah.
haven't you haven't given your service to God. God is my daddy and he does not want me to struggle
Yeah.
at all. He's like, "Please God, I don't want your fingernails dirty." Truly. And it's like it really just it's beliefs. Anyway,
Hmm.
Kristy, I could go on about this for about 15 years. I'm gonna
I
like
love it.
lecture y'all.
Next podcast.
Next podcast is like Alexandria like going
Just two
hard on
hours.
2 hours. People are like fucking triggered. They're like, I'm sorry, I'm charging $27. I've given away 7 healings for free. I'm like, no, no more.
Seriously, I learned so much and benefit so much from Alexandria's perspective, and she does push me, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, because I feel it too, and I feel, what other women have feel around like the shame of asking for it, and also like the insecurity and judgment around like, oh, why can't I grow my business? Why does it feel like I'm always failing? Especially women who have partners who are business owners and entrepreneurs, and they see
Mm,
their male partner being successful and like standing up a business in like 3 months, profitable,
yeah.
like just by using their third chakra in a masculine way, and they can't match that. There's a
Mm,
reason that we can't match that pace. And I love to remind women that it was only 1 or 2 generations ago that women didn't have independent wealth. They couldn't have
yeah.
like jobs. Their money came from their husband or their family, and they were locked into those systems. So it's not your fault that it's hard for you. Of course it is. We're breaking generations and like centuries of ownership of
Yeah.
ourselves, of our bodies. So of course, having our own wealth and earning it, there's energy that gets stuck on that. A lot of people are resentful of like, why do I have to be the first woman in my family to heal all this stuff,
Yeah.
and break the ceiling? And it's like, ask your higher self because part of
If
you
you're kinky.
signed the contract to come in and do this. So I'm not making you do the work. You chose it. It's like
Yeah.
but I think that that's a privilege. Like I get off. It's exciting to
Same.
to see the shifts that happen. Like when you can do clairvoyant work and see like, oh, something big is shifting around money. I know
Hmm.
6 months from now things are going to be different. That's what's exciting about doing this work is like, you move the energy, something's going to change, which is fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I see it all in the birth chart, like everything both of you are saying. I could see it all every damn time. So it feels like such a
Wait,
complimentary.
tell us more. Like when
Yeah.
you see that, I want to
What
like
does
when
that
you see
Yeah.
that
mean?
in the birth chart,
Yeah.
what are you
Okay.
seeing? Like
Okay. All
that's
right.
clairvoyant as fuck. You're like, I see it.
Oh, I see it all. Yeah. Yeah, like right off the top of my head, I'm like thinking of some connections. So, Alexandria, you were talking about the religious programming. When I'm seeing 12th house stuff, when I'm seeing Pisces, when I'm seeing Virgo, when I'm seeing 6th house stuff, I'm seeing contracts around um usually around giving the body up to God. I don't need enough. I won't take more. I'll sleep on this stone. I'll just wear a fucking bag and just like pray to God all day. I'll take less, right? Taurus second house placements, actually like Pluto in the second house can really be about these old karmic contracts of either losing a lot in previous lives or like, and then this like I'm gonna die if I gain more, if I have more. Um, there's a lot of different programming that can happen around these, and then like as they continue, it's just like you can see literally these soul contracts that have been written that say like this person, and it can even be linked into marriage contracts too, right? Like I'll love you in every life for eternity. And then you come in and you keep having to meet that fucking person, even though your contract is like over or it's not good. And it might be tied into money too. Like, oh, you'll always take care of me in every single life. So I won't actually make money because like Kristy, what you were saying there is like, I literally said in this life like you're gonna keep coming back and being my daddy, although every time I hit this point with you I'm trying to break free. So now we're seeing like Uranus signatures might come in, like a Uranus Venus aspect might be happening, and maybe it's connected to like a Virgo or a Pisces placement, and there's like this like need to break free from that karmic relationship. So I see all of these happen over and over and over again. I'm like, and then they're in my own fucking chart. I'm like, these contracts.
That is so cool.
I
Yeah.
love astrology. I think it's so interesting. Yeah, I'm teaching a class, a breathwork class that's
Mm.
healing your inner king. And I
Oof.
think what's really interesting is like every time I'm about to take a massive step in liberation of myself and owning my creative energy for me and being a wealthy woman. Guess who sneaks in? Some kind of man. And they're
Mm,
always and I call it like, and I watch it. It's like so fun to be a clairvoyant and just kind of let things unfold.
yeah.
Spirit just loves to give me a show. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's an interesting pattern.
It's because you love a show.
I do. I'm a Leo and like everything maybe it's not the actual Scorpio in us that wants to burn it down. It's actually the Leo because I love a theatrical
Honestly,
performance.
it's
You better
connected.
know
Yeah,
that
it's
I'm
Main
connected.
character energy.
yeah, it's
Make it
yeah,
big.
I'm like, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Um, like I would notice this certain archetypal energy that would come up, and it was like that wounded masculine gatekeeper. And
Mm,
some people have referred to this as the matrix keeper.
mm,
Right when you're about to quantum leap out into your new timeline, the matrix gatekeeper is going to fucking push in and say, you're not smart enough.
mm.
You're not going to do well. You're going to die is my favorite.
Yep. I hit that one all the time. It's
Yeah,
always, you're gonna
daily.
die. You're
You're
gonna
gonna
die.
die. Like it's straight to death. And it's like interesting to like have some space from that now because like I can watch it happen and I'm like, oh, there you are.
Mm,
Like a man asked me on a date, I'm like, oh, there you are again.
there you are.
And I'm like not resistant to it because I'm like, I'm not like, you're the fucking demon of my life, you know? I'm like, I'm about to take a really big step. This is really validating. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I don't know, I just think what you had said about the Uranus, Venus, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Breaking free from these soul contracts regarding relationships, seventh house Uranus stuff as well. Like, yeah, it's all there, and then you guys go in a different way. And what I love about everything you're saying is it feels like this compliment to my work, where it's like, okay, here's all the shit. And Alexandra, you and I have done this where we've, done trades and we're like, here's all the fucking shit. Here it is. And then your work's like, okay, what are we gonna do about it? How are we
Yeah.
going to move it? How are we going to shift it? How are we going to see it? How are we going to actively work on those boundaries like you talked about, or just energetically clean house?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do we teach you to sustain that? Because it's like one thing. And when I approached this work, I had a mentor and I worked with her for a year just to get right.
Yeah.
Just to clear out the divorce, to clear out the old programming. My nervous system was fucking collapsed. I was going through Saturn return. I was like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's easier for me now because I don't have the backlog. So I think a lot of women come to us, and Kristy kind of pointed this out earlier, like, oh no, I have cancer, and I'm like, okay, well, you need to be committed to longer containers
Mm,
because there is a backlog of energy. One session,
yeah.
for me now, one session clears it because it's like,
Mm,
I know we're getting precise. I'm doing the work every day. So it's like
yeah.
if I go to my mentor, I'm quantum leaping in that session. I am literally like, it's getting healed, period. Because my havingness for it is higher. So I think when you're new to this work with energy work, it's like you do have to make a commitment because there is such a backlog of energy and that's why our training is like, we haven't really solidified the whole length, but it's a year. It's it's something that, oh my God, I just had such insane deja vu.
Mm.
Oh my God. Whoa.
We've been here before.
We have done this in the astral. I said that in the fucking, okay, great. We did this in the astral and we brought it down. Okay, deja vu is
Love
fine.
it.
The timeline just shifted right now.
Mm.
Oh shit. That was wild to
And
watch.
now I'm feeling like the wobbliness right
Yeah, I'm
now.
like, and we just shifted a timeline. So I
Mm,
think it's like, I think it's really potent to, like, our work is so complementary. Like Vika did a chart reading for me, and I had Uranus transiting my seventh, and like obviously that was chaos. But like it's like seeing it archetypally, seeing it laid out, knowing what's coming, so helpful. And then being able to manage the growth that's happening for you is like our realm. It's like, how do I get my energy right? How do I see it? How do I stay in the terrain with it? It's like, here's the vision. How do I stay in the terrain? And then how do I see that for myself and like keep going? Because what you're doing is really clairvoyant. When I look at a chart, I'm like psychically like ding 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 ding. It's
hmm
psychic.
hmm
And you should be paid for it, like a lot of money.
hmm hmm Thank you. Received.
Like $1 million.
$1 million a reading.
I mean,
I only work with Jeff Bezos now.
oh no. He's like, can you look at the transit for when I'm gonna make the most money? We're
The
like, you
most
don't need
money.
it.
Sir, you're fine.
Well, I love the theme that we've hit on of like the hopefulness of this, of like nothing's deterministic. Like sometimes with
Yeah.
astrology, people think like this is just my or with family stuff, we think like
Yeah.
this is just how my life is. This is just how things go for me. This is just how my body is. I have this
Yeah.
and like I haven't seen anything that doesn't move with energy. It's energy. Energy is designed to move, not
Yes.
designed to be stuck.
No.
So everything can move and change. And with clairvoyant tools, you get to direct how it's moving
Mm.
and changing. You decide.
Yeah. That's so powerful. And like so um it's what 20-year-old me needed to hear because she didn't know that yet, right? And she hadn't been through the last 14-year initiation. And I'm sure there's a lot of people listening that are like, "Oh, right, like this isn't final. Whatever I'm experiencing right now isn't final, whether it's pain, whether it's illness, whether it's a divorce, whether it's death, like going through like losing someone, the grief process, like everything changes and everything is a part of how we want to grow our state of consciousness, how we want to exist in this world. Um, it 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 really isn't final. So I love you saying that.
Yeah, this is not where your story ends.
No,
This is not how the story ends.
no. Can
And
this
if,
podcast be the start of like
yeah,
the
it
next
is.
thing?
And it's just like not a space where like our whole world right now is in this energy of
Yes.
destruction, death. So it's so easy to get lost in the hopelessness of that
Mhm.
because you match it on your Instagram, wherever you are in the world. You go to the grocery store, right? Huh. This is not where the story ends, babes. You did not incarnate into this sexy body to be this hot. Like, Chrissy's like, what the fuck is this Leo on? I'm like, you did not incarnate here to be in this female body with this much power.
Yeah.
I know you're all pissed off that you have to break all the generational curses, okay? It's a lot of labor. It's pretty annoying. I get it. But you came here to have fun and you came here to have pleasure, even when everything else is dying. So don't let Instagram shame you out of that. I want
Mhm.
everyone to be like, I'm like self-pleasuring. I want everyone to be in this space of like, the world is dying, but I'm not.
Mhm. Mhm.
My
And
story doesn't end here.
yeah, and as you're saying it, I'm like, yeah, we think the world is dying. It looks like it. We, as a collective, have talked about this, love doomsday karma. We are
Oh my God.
so enmeshed in it. We're like, oh, I'll create a new myth for how the world is going to end. We love it. But as you're saying it, it's like we're witnessing the dying, and yet it is also being rebirth. It's the thing we forget about Pluto. It's the thing we forget about like the butterflies. It's like I dreamed about butterflies last night. I'm just remembering. It's like we forget in grief moments that yes, something's dying, but that also means something is being birthed. And as we're watching everything we've loved or not loved or just connected to, thought it was keeping us safe, all of us, it's like, can we understand that as it dies, there is newness coming? It is inside of it. It actually exists at once. Like it's literally happening at the same time.
Mm.
That's a perfect point. I think the sign of a very wise person is somebody who recognizes that their beginning isn't the ending.
Yeah. Yeah. Seeding that for everyone listening, seeding that for us. That feels really good. Okay. Oh my gosh, I love how long this went. Love everyone that's still listening, everyone that's still here
It's
with us.
never gonna be a short time with us. It's
I
just
know.
not.
I know for everyone listening, we joked about that as we began. We're like, what's our timeline? And I'm like, well, well, we'll see what happens. But
4.5 hours. Four.
Time
9
isn't real.
million. Hey, if the astrology podcast can go for like 9 hours of an episode, no, like 3 or 4, we are fine.
We're fine.
We're fine. So as we kind of close this beautiful flower we have opened today, what do you guys feel like is like the most important thing to share about what you guys are initiating in the world? And, the person that's listening, I'm already like, am I joining this? But the person
Yes.
listening that's like, oh, like this actually might be the thing that I need.
Kristy, do you want to go first?
No. It's still coming in. Give me a
I know,
second.
I'm like, you know, it's just like how I'm seeing it is like it's so beautiful because most of your souls are already there.
Mm,
You're already in the astral containers. You're already experiencing it. So you're going to be attracted to this podcast based on you already finding resonance with it.
yeah.
You know, psychic school is a space like no other because there is space for you to actually be who you are. All the senses online, all of the knowing without feeling invalidated. That to me, priceless, priceless. If you experience invalidation every single day, you think you're crazy, you invalidate yourself, you discount what your body is saying
Mm,
to survive. Like I get that. I lived my life like that. This training is going to teach you the tools to exist in your life as a sensitive woman, period.
yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Hmm.
I guess what I would also add to that is like this is for regular people. You don't have to already be tapped in or be getting messages. You might be, but this is always like do what brings you joy, and you deserve to have joy. Most of the people I work with, the women I work with, they recognize that it's so easy for them to give to other people and so much harder to give to themselves. So what's coming to me is the phrase let yourself. Just let yourself have what you want. Let yourself receive. And that's something that we teach. And yeah, just like give yourself permission to have your joy, your wisdom. Something that both Alexandria and I love to preach is that like you don't need to be elderly to have wisdom. You always have access to your wisdom.
Hmm.
You don't need to grow into it. You don't need to suffer for it. You don't need
Yeah.
to experience extreme loss or trauma to earn it.
Mm,
You deserve to have your wisdom right now, so go get it.
hmm. That's a lot of karmic contracts to own at once. I love that.
Honestly.
Yeah, right?
Well,
Like
we
it's
teach you how to clear karma.
love it. Yes, you do. And, for anyone listening, I've had a session with Alexandria. Kristy, I've not had one with you, but we know that's what you do for me. You assist me in doing inside of our sessions is clearing so much of the stuff I look at and teach about through astrology. And it's so beautiful the way they complement each other. Is this clearing of the stories, the things we're still attached to, the things we don't even understand why we're doing them, and we're like this is stuck inside me and I don't know why I'm still feeling it. And then I get into a session with Alexandria and I'm like, ah, hello, there you are.
Yeah, and like I think the we've all been programmed to think that we have to work hard to clear that. We need to spend 7,000 years in therapy and do the somatics, and we need to like go and have a catharsis cry, and we need to like do hard, like we need to effort into it. Like if
Mm,
you've had an energy clearing with me, I look at it, it's gone. I'm
mm-hmm.
like, oh, because you've already done the work on it, right?
Yeah.
I think we often get stuck in those patterns of like beating the
Mm,
dead horse. And like sometimes it's just one little thorn in your field that just has got to get pulled out and it can totally reorganize around that. And so I'll leave with this is like energy work is effortless. That's why I chose it as my career because I don't effort in sessions.
yeah.
My body doesn't have to effort. That's why it's so organic and aligned for me is because I'm not running a marathon in a session anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what the tools taught me. That is what this lineage taught me is like, you don't have to perform. You can just be who you are and use your gifts in that way. And it can feel good and you're not going to get persecuted for it. And it's actually a gift to the world to share who you are. And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful. It's
Mm.
powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Christy, do you want to add anything to that?
I will just say, like, us as teachers, one of the hardest thing about being a teacher is like I love to think that I have the answers and have
Mm.
all this wisdom and I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you the tools. And like, or like in a healing session, I'm going to heal the shit out of you. And
Yeah.
it's like I'm not really, I mean, I am participating actively and leading
Yeah.
it and
Yeah.
co-creating it, but it's just activating what's already in the other person
Yeah.
and like just showing them like you already have this, just like reach out and grab it. So I think we are both very aware as teachers of like holding that kind of space where everyone in class gets to own their crown and their wisdom and their creative genius, their
Yeah.
healing gifts, and not have to compete with us to have that space. Like we want them to grow and do great things. And so it's like the openness is there in a way that probably a lot of us haven't experienced in other held containers, other trainings,
Yeah.
other programs, other groups where we feel like we're in competition. Like the openness, that is our main, it's built into the design, the energetic design of our school.
Yeah. I can
So
feel it from both of you. And like that's why I was like, I gotta have this conversation because there are so many situations I've been in and then I've heard of where, there are leaders or teachers that are coming from a place where it is ego based. It is like for them, right? Like celebrate me as your teacher and your guide and then the minute that student surpasses them, it's like the end of the world. I've experienced it through many, many different processes in my own life. And I love that you guys are teaching from what I hope I teach my own students from this very humble space where I'm like, I know some stuff, but like really I know nothing. And like, I'm just going to hold this with you.
that's great. Of course you are.
Yeah, and I think too, like, let's not like, okay, so like we're in this place, right? Where like guru culture is dying. Nobody
Thank
wants
God.
in that, right? Thank God. And also for us as women, we have all spent years
Yeah.
training, integrating, developing skills and tools, and doing that when we had a lot of pushback on us. So
Yeah.
I think it takes a very highly skilled practitioner to hold that space
Hmm.
and like a natural someone with natural authority. So I think what's happening right now collectively is the guru who comes in and says, I have all your answers and you have to listen to me and da da da. Like that's gross, ew. But we
Hmm.
do want someone who can lead us, who has the skills to
Yeah.
hold that level of space for us so that we can expand. And I really rely on my teachers too to like hold me in that space. And I don't want any woman invalidating herself because of like
Hmm.
the harm that's been caused in the spiritual community. It's like I want us all to come to the table and be like, Kristy and I have been training now for me, it's been almost 6 years. I have
Yeah.
almost a doctorate
Yeah.
Hmm.
in this.
Hmm.
And it's like, what Kristy and I are teaching to our students who we would hope at some point would want to teach this is that there is a skill set that you need to have to be able to do that, which is
Yeah.
neutrality. It's
Hmm.
it's to be able to track your own triggers and to not project. And that's what we teach. I think that's so different with our clairvoyance is like people often come to me like, how are you so neutral? How are you
Hmm.
not like jumping into my space? How are you like so grounded? And I'm like, this is what we teach. It's really a skill set to be able to give a very grounded and clear reading without
Yeah.
throwing energy or having it run through my projections. That is what psychic training teaches. And I think, like, for anyone who is a practitioner or a healer already, you've never seen this kind of training because I never had.
Mm.
And I was like, I'm
Amazing.
fine, I'm doing great. And I was just reading before through all my own pain or projections or like channel
Right.
like channeling all the energy and like being like, okay, but when you read from your body, it feels good. It feels easy.
Mm.
It separate clearly. And it's like, I don't like, I think there's so much invalidation for women coming into these spaces. Vika, you've been doing this for so long. Like, truly, you're one of the most potent. You've literally changed my life and my field
Mm.
based through karmic astrology and based on like, I've literally like deep dived into Judy Hall because of you. You like changed my perception of the Scorpio moon,
Mm.
and it's like we all need to own our crowns in the sense of like, we've done this work and the world needs us to lead.
Yeah.
Period. Like there's no other invalidation necessary because it's like, okay, it's not from ego, it's from a place of like, this is the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing.
Yeah, I feel you. I love that. That's such a good reminder. And like holding both is so important. And yeah, it does take a specific type of person to be able to hold like humility and um the truth of like how much has been put into it. And that really is like a sign of a good leader. So I love you saying that.
Yeah, that humility is really important, but I think women take that way too far.
So far. It's
So
such a
far.
big
I'm
thing.
so humble. I'm like, I'm not.
There is a
I'm
fine line.
I'm humble in the sense of I see people and I understand and I don't try to force myself on people.
Yeah.
I can understand nuance, which is
Mhm.
really like a key skill.
Yes.
But like, why would anyone want us to not self-validate?
Agree.
That's a literal, like, that's so weird to me. I just don't understand it. And like, this is why I chose to be a Leo in this life. I'm like, no,
hmm
absolutely the fuck not. No, 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 no. Like, we are all masters of our craft. And I'm going to
Yeah.
own that because we want our students to lean on that.
Yeah.
I've been where you have gone again and again and again and again, and for every rep, and it is hurt, and I'm not afraid of it
Yeah.
at all in the slightest. I'm not afraid of the responsibility it takes to create a safe space.
That's beautiful.
Wow.
Love this.
I'm like, everyone, no, clock your
No.
shit. You're doing great.
Doing great. I love this. Yeah. And it's so true. So, Kristy, do you have anything to add to that before we kind of close out today? That feels solid. Yeah.
Chrissy's
Give
like,
me the nod.
we
She's like,
gotta
we're good. That's the final line. Um, okay. I love this. Tell everyone where they can find you, how they can work with you. Is it just the psychic school? Are you guys, do you both have sessions open? Yeah, what does it look like right now?
So, if you'd like to join Psychic School or find out more about it, you can visit psychic-school.com. And then Alexandria and I both have our own business that we do one-on-one healings with clients. Mine is called Dark Moon Energy Work, and you can find me on Instagram or at darkmoonenergywork.com.
Beautiful.
Nice. So good. I have my own business and I do embodiment portraiture. So if you want to work with me in person and go through like a ritual photography experience that is like set in clairvoyant energy and incredibly transformational because you're trying to embody a archetypal expression of self, yes. I also am a leadership coach. So I work with women to initiate their next level of self, their businesses, their money. I really work in the realm of money and pleasure. And so if you want to work with me, you want to like feel actually led and held for all of your sensitivity, you can apply on my website, alexandriakenyon.com.
That. And you're on Instagram, yeah?
Oh yeah, on Instagram, I'm like, book a clarity call with me. That's the best first step for everything. Just
Amazing.
book a reading, and then from there, I'll tell you what needs to happen.
Love that so much. And like I just love this. So like everyone go. They're already gone. They're already like halfway through this podcast. They were already
They were
linked
like
in. Psychic dash
psychic-school.com.
school. Yeah.
They're like, I'm clairvoyant. They're like running into the room with their partner. They're like,
Yeah.
you know
It's
I'm
been
psychic.
this. It's been this all along. Oh, I love this so much. And thank you guys for coming and just like sharing this, I think, very important conversation that needed to be had. And just like, yeah, sharing your time and your energy with me today is such an honor to sit with you and listen to your magic.
It's our pleasure.
So
Mm,
much. I love
yeah.
it.
So for everyone listening, I will link everything in the show notes below so it's easy to go and find these amazing souls. And yeah, if you guys want to share with us, if you're on Spotify, drop us some comments. Tell us how you're feeling about this conversation. If you are not, I don't know, send me a email. Send me an email, guys, like the olden days. I want your emails. It's hello@vikabradford.com. I want to hear your emails.
I
All right.
only email you.
I love your emails. She's like, hey. And I'm like, hi. All right, everybody. We will catch you on the next episode. Have the best day.